a business owner, find out about their business and their struggles with social media. So let's dive into this week's episode. Hello everyone and welcome to Donuts with a Sprinkle of Social Media. I'm really excited. This is our first episode and I've got a cracker of a guest on. He is the man of networking. If he doesn't know how to network, he doesn't know nothing. Let me introduce Jamie Stewart. Hi, Jamie.
Do you know what? I'm so excited. When you said that you were launching a podcast and you asked for volunteers, I was like, right, I've got to be on the first episode. So I'm so pleased that I am on episode number 1.
And I'm so excited to have you on as a avid fan of your business and a member. We couldn't have a nicer person join us for our first one. So Jamie is the owner, shall we say owner?
Yeah.
Of Circle Network. An amazing network organization. But let me pass over to Jamie to tell you a bit more about what Circle Network is.
Okay, so during lockdown, I think everyone discovered Zoom, hated Zoom, spent lots of time on it, and I was never really a fan of video calls or anything like that until about 2 months before lockdown happened, and I took all my coaching onto Zoom. At the time I was working with somebody else and we were like miles apart, so it made sense for us to have Zoom calls. It just made life easier. So when lockdown hit and all networking went online, I'll be honest, I hated the group that I was in. It just didn't work. Everybody in the same room on mute, waiting for their turn to pitch, just didn't work. So I quit, and I had this idea for a place where people come and build relationships and have conversations. That's what networking's all about to me. And Circle Networks was born. Here we are, 3.5 years later. We've just gone through a huge period of growth. We've got 35 groups. We've doubled in the last 12 weeks. We've gone international, and we are built on a foundation of our strapline, which is friendship fuels business. And that's how we've come to know each other. So you were introduced by a friend of mine, Stuart Mason, who runs a group up near you in Scotland. And it's just nice people helping each other in business.
Yeah, and I was saying that today. I was down with Charlotte and Gillian's crazy group on a Friday. And I was just saying to them today, it's a bunch of friends just getting together, being able to talk about their week in business and seeing if we can help each other like normal friends do.
Yeah, we have friends in the real world that we rely on, that we confide in, that we trust, that help us when we need it, and we help them. And to me, your network should be the same. You need business best friends who are there for you during the highs and lows of business, somebody that you can call on, ask advice, ask for help, and that they will just do stuff to help you without you even asking for that help.
Yeah. So I think I've been in Circle Network now, for 4 months, maybe?
If that, I think
it's probably maybe 3. Yeah. I came along to the first one. I was invited along, like you say, to Stuart, and I said to Stuart, it better not be like any of those other networking organizations. I said, because if it is, I'm leaving within 5 minutes. I loved it that much. I joined straight after the meeting. I know you do a 2-week free trial, don't you, Jamie? Yeah. So
you hold the record for the fastest or the shortest period of time from attending an event to becoming a member.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really good about Circle Network, isn't it? It's, for me, I speak the truth. It's brilliant. I've got a bunch of friends from all over the UK that I know that I can drop a message and someone will help me out. I think this podcast was quite scary. I thought, well, what if no one wants to join me? And I put it on our Slack thingamabob, and I think I've now got 8 people lined up. So yeah,
it won't be hard. It won't be hard. I think, just having good conversations with people in business, and I think people are naturally helpful. I think in the networking world, people want to help and support each other. But I think, having conversation, being able to listen into other conversations, that's part of it. So me and you having a chat about this is helpful to other people to learn about the highs and lows of business. I mean, you're business is all about social media. I'm a massive fan of social media. Whilst we might network together, we interact with each other on social media platforms as well, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. And I think talking about social media, I know you're a big LinkedIn man. I see you on there nearly every day out with your dogs. I think everyone in Circle have got dogs, haven't they, as well?
There's a high proportion of our members are dog owners, and in my head, I don't go around saying this very often, but in my head, if they don't own a dog, they're an aspiring dog owner. That's just the way that I view the world.
Yeah. Although on this morning's meeting, we had chickens galore. We had Mel, who is my closest Circle member, just down the road, and she was taking us for a walk around her chicken farm.
Really, she runs a crazy house with kids, dogs, horses, chickens, cats, all sorts of things.
Yeah. So tell us about what's coming up, the big thing that we're all looking forward to, Circle Live. What's all that about?
So I started in a previous job. I used to run some big conferences. We had a large sales force, and we used to put on events for 5,000 people. And I missed that. So whilst I love online networking, I love working from home. Home working's been the best thing for me. Getting together once a year, though, to celebrate our wins, to cement relationships, to have a few beers, to learn from the speakers that we've got on the day, build new relationships. I wanted to do an event that was completely different to anything else out there. And last year we did the first one. So we're recording this now beginning of June. So May last year, I announced to the world, and I'll be honest, you think it was scary launching a podcast, wait until you put your backside on the line, then run a big event. That was nerve-wracking. I was like, what if no one comes? You know, it was a case of build it and they will come, I hope, and pray. And we did it. We pulled it off. And the idea was to have an event, and I've included some training in it. So I teach, my background is coaching people on networking, how to build a network and how to get the clients that you want. Because I think a lot of people just go networking because someone says, Sean, you should come to our networking event. So you're polite, you go along. And I coach people on how to get the results that they want from networking. So I've included a training course that I've run for a lot of people in the price of the conference ticket. And my idea is that people can make their money back on their investment in the ticket before they even arrive. That's what I want. So I give them the knowledge, the skills. There's a bit of accountability that goes in with that, and it runs over 6 weeks. They can sit it as many times as they like in 2024. So last year, when I first did this, I had a number of people, but I'll give you a couple of examples. Neil Waters, who lives near you, I say near you, is in Dundee, so he's just down the road.
In the picture of the map, that is quite near.
Maybe 2 or 3 hours away, but he's in Scotland, and he signed up. Within 2 weeks, he'd already made over £2,000 back. So bearing in mind that the conference ticket currently is £300, invest £300 and make a couple of £1,000 back in a short period of time, it makes sense. I also wanted people so we run some networking events online in the run up to the event so that you come along knowing some people. So you're not on your own, you're not nervous, you come in to deepen relationships and strengthen them, and probably get some selfies, because when we're together, it's nice to get some social media content. Yeah. And then I've got speakers lined up on the day who are not celebrities. I've been to events where celebrities come on stage. Generally, they're only speaking, they get paid to speak. They're only speaking because they're launching something or they're promoting something. So you invest all this time and money to go to a conference, to hear these big names, only to be there in the audience, and then they go, oh, right, I'm launching this big thing and you can get it today. And all you need to do is just scan this QR code, and then it generates that FOMO. I was like, oh, that sounds really good. Oh, I don't know if I can afford it. So there is no pitching from the stage at our event. So the speakers are just a few steps ahead of all the people in the audience, so that they remember what it's like to be where you are right now, and they're sharing stuff that's easy for you to implement. They're not going, right, and you need to spend £5,000 a month on digital marketing or advertising or whatever it might be, or on this program. They're just sharing stuff that you can take away and put into practice. And I'm very big on people sharing things that if you went away and did 1 or 2 of these things, that you see a return on investment. So I want it to be something that works. Yeah. So and it's fun.
And
it's
how many speakers have we got at the at the live?
I should know that off the top of my head. I could name them all, but I think we're at 9 speakers. There'll be 10 speakers on the day. 10
Yeah.
speakers on the day, some networking built into the event, and then we've got some awards as well that would be running the day. And everything's included. Lunch, tea, coffee, parking during the day. It's in Birmingham. If people book a ticket and then they can't make it, it's live streamed and it's recorded. So even if for whatever reason, I don't know, you get ill or your family crisis or something, then people can still enjoy it and participate. But I'm all about return on investment and people getting something back from it so that they go, that was a no-brainer. I need to be there next year.
And I think everyone who was there last year, have all said that it was a no-brainer to sign up this year. So,
bearing in mind where you are, so you're right up in the top of Scotland. Last year we had some Mel that you mentioned. She's 6 miles down the road from you.
Yep.
They did a 10-hour road trip down to Birmingham. So they drove down on the Sunday, had a couple of beers on the Sunday night, all day in the event on Monday, and it's on a Monday for a reason, so that I think a lot of events are on Fridays where you go along, you have a great event, you get all these ideas, you're buzzed about your business, and then it's the weekend, and before you know it, you're back to work on Monday and you've lost that momentum that you started on the Friday. Yeah. So I wanted to run it on a Monday so that you've got the rest of the week to take action and implement it whilst it's all fresh in your mind. So I encourage everybody to kind of block some time out for the rest of that week so that you can follow up with the people that you've met, so you can take action, so you can do everything that we're talking about. And the theme of the event is streamline, scale up, collaborate, so that there is something there for everybody, depending upon what stage they're at in their business journey.
Yeah, and I think from us lot in Scotland, I know that we're up to a minibus at the moment. It may be a coach by the time that we come.
That shared experience. So last year it was Ailsa, Mel, and Neil were the three that came down, and they had a brilliant time. They probably didn't know each other that well, but after 2 full days of traveling down there and back, and the whole event, that shared experience has really brought them together, and some strong friendships and referral partnerships have been built on the back of that. And Mel shared some stats with me the other day. She'd just been doing some looking at her sales figures, and her business has grown 63% year on year, from January to the end of May. So people get some great results.
She is bloody good at what she does as well.
If this goes out on video, so I'm wearing Mel's workwear. So I've got an embroidered polo on that Mel produced for me. She's very good.
I think that's the joys of Circle as well, isn't it? There's such a diverse amount of people and different businesses that, regardless of where you are in life and the struggles or the challenges that you're going through, there's someone in Circle Network that can help you.
Yeah. And it's supportive, it's collaborative, and you're right. There's all sorts, and there's people that are. Here's the thing that I find about networking. I might be working away doing some stuff that I'm getting paid to do, but if somebody rings me up and asks for help, I'll stop what I'm doing to help somebody else that doesn't pay me back in any way. So we will stop our paid work to help somebody for free, to help them win paid work. It's a different way of working.
I suppose it's the way. I suppose those who find Circle Network perfect, you already got that sort of moral embedded in you that you want to help people, and it's not about, if I help you, what you're going to give me back.
Not at all. So one of our things, I don't know if you've heard me talk about this, Sean, is PLU. Have you heard me mention that? It's a PLU. I think when most of us got a job, we're in a job, we don't get to choose who works there. Somebody else is in charge of recruitment, our colleagues who we sit next to. In the business world, we can actually choose who we spend our time with. And what makes sense is that we're around PLU. What does PLU mean? People like us. People with the same values as us. People that care about the same things, that our kind of people. And, I feel like, touch wood, I've been very fortunate the last 3.5 years. We have no rules in Circle Networks other than one unwritten rule, that we only want nice people coming along. and everybody smiles, just like you are now. Everybody laughs, but it works. And that
Yeah.
PLU thing, and because what's the opposite of that? NLU, not like us. We don't want to be around people that pull us down and drag us down and make us feel miserable. We want to be around people like us that make us feel good and lift us up.
Yeah, and although we've got almost a little routine in Circle Network, the way that things should happen, but it's only a guidance, but I love the bit where we, hi, I'm Sean, I've got 8 children, I live in the north of Scotland, I've got 3 dogs, 2 cats, and 2 chickens. If you'd gone to another organisation and started your 60 seconds with that, they would have looked at you like you've got 2 heads.
People like to deal with people that are like them. So if a traditional networking event, and this isn't just at networking, in business generally, hi, I'm Jamie from Circle Networks. Name, job title, or name and job role. Well, how do we know if we like people or not? We want to find out if we've got something. It humanises us. So starting with tell us about you when you're not working, 8 kids, that's a great thing to know. It makes you stand out. You must be, you must be stretched, but it makes my life easy because I've only got 3 kids.
Yeah. I think that's I think to me, that's what I use as the USP to sell. Well, not even to sell, to invite people to come along to Circle Network. It is that it's let's know about you first before your business. And you're right, people buy from people, don't they? But yeah, I just absolutely love it. I know we're in June, and I know that we're putting this out pretty soon. You've also got a boot camp coming up after another successful previous event.
We did one in May. Oh, God, it feels like ages ago. It was only probably about 4 weeks ago. So we did one in May. The idea is that it's a good showcase of our members and what we have to offer. So the next one's coming up on the 15th of July. Again, it's on a Monday. It's 3 hours. It's on Zoom. It's free. It's open to everybody. I say everybody, they've got to be nice people. So people generally that are in business, and I'm imagining you're going to have an audience of people that are your kind of people. So nice people in business, could be anywhere in the world. It runs UK time from 10 until 1. We will have 9 or 10 speakers. I've got a very good friend of mine who wrote a book called Go for No, Andrea Waltz, who's based over in the States. She's going to be the headline speaker of that. I booked her to speak at a big conference down in Birmingham 14 years ago now it would have been. Flew her and her husband over from the States to speak. It's so much easier now with Zoom. So she's doing me a huge favour by speaking at the event. And it's a very simple message. If you struggle with rejection, people saying no, she can help you unlock that. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
I don't want to give anything away, but she shares some brilliant tips and advice that just help people boost their sales. They're probably the only speaker that I booked, and I used to spend a lot of money on speakers, where I could see a direct result in the business, in sales, as a result of having them on stage. Within a week, I saw the results.
I think a lot of what we do in business is about mindset, isn't it? Like I've always wanted to do a podcast, and my mindset was, everyone will come to it, and I thought, I'll just give it a go. I think we're so used to, I can't put my prices up because no one will buy it. Well, that's how much it costs. That's what it costs.
But I'm the same, Sean. I had the idea of running a podcast for a year before I eventually, and it would be just over 2 years ago that I started mine. And I said to myself, right, this week I'm going to launch my podcast. I remember it was on a Monday morning. By Tuesday lunchtime, it was up, done, first episode published.
Yeah.
You just got to do it. So mine's just gone through I want to say rebirth and upgrade at the moment. So I've just recorded episode 65 yesterday. That'll come out in the next, probably about the same time as this, I guess, as we're recording at similar time.
And someone looking for your podcast, what's yours called, Jamie?
So mine's called The Buffalo Sessions. So let me just explain that. So I encourage people to be more buffalo. If you can see, I've even got it on my polo sleeve here. Be More Buffalo. In America, the Native American Indians noticed that when a storm comes in, cows turn and run away from the storm. And by running away from it, or trying to run away from it, they end up underneath it for longer. Whereas buffalo are the only animals that when a storm comes in, they turn to face it. And when it gets near, they charge through it together, get through it quicker. So in business, there are a lot of things that we put off, that we procrastinate over, that aren't actually that bad. So if we, what are the things that you just need to be more buffalo with and charge through it, and you'll find that generally it's not that bad. The herd mentality, though, is that if you've got some people that you can ask for help, your network, then you can get through it even quicker.
It's a great analogy of everything in business, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I suppose for me, it was the on your recent training was the hello calls.
Just reconnecting with people. Yeah, I mean,
I think for those who don't know what hello calls are, it's basically pick up the phone to people that you've maybe done business with or have lost contact with, and just go, "How are you?" You're not there to sell or anything. It's literally just pick up the phone and say, "How are you?" And that's one of the parts in your training, isn't it, Jamie?
It's nothing new. I think one of the things about the training that I run is it's quite simple stuff. There's probably not that much in it that's unique, but when you bring it all together, and I run it over a 6-week period, so it's 90 minutes a week over Zoom, and then you go away and put bits into action each week. Rather than traditional sensory training, you might do a 1-day or a 2-day or a 3-day course or information overload. This is designed so that you learn a bit, take action. Then next week you come back and you add another layer to it, and then another and another and another. And one of the things is just to reconnect with people, pick them up, pick up the phone, ring somebody, and everybody procrastinates over it. Oh, I can't ring them because we're not even ringing to sell anything. We're just ringing to say, "Hi, Sean, how are you doing?" But because of COVID, we in business, or certainly as small businesses, it's almost like, well, we can't get in touch with people unless we've scheduled it and diarised it, because they might be busy, they might not. Just ring them. If they don't answer, we've all got the choices. My phone rings now. I'm just going to look at it and ignore it. In fact, it has rang and I've not answered it. That's what happens when we're busy. But so many people procrastinate. But imagine being on the receiving end of it. So someone you haven't spoke to for a while has been thinking about you. And, if you're listening to this, you've probably over the last week thought, "Oh, do you know what? I've not spoke to Sean for ages. What if you just ring them and say, 'Hey, Sean, I was thinking about you the other day. Thought I'd give you a call and see how you're doing.'" If we bumped into each other in the street and we'd not seen each other for a while, we would stop and have that conversation, wouldn't we?
Yeah, and I think it's I don't know what I struggle to start with, but yeah, it's like, well, you've not spoken to them for a while, and I think naturally people think that you're ringing to sell them something. Yeah, because that's the norm, isn't it? Someone picks up the phone. What do you want? Oh, are you interested?
Why? Somebody knocked on our door last night as we were having dinner, and I said to my partner Leo, I was like, "Who's that at the door? What do they want?" It's like, how dare somebody knock on the door? How dare someone ring me? What do they want? And so
phone rings after 8 o'clock at night. Who's that phone at this time of night?
Yes. But so here's the thing: if you ring somebody, it's their choice if they answer. It's their choice. Yeah. They'll either ring you back or they won't. But if you just ring someone for a catch-up, and it's not a long conversation, it's to show a genuine interest in somebody and just start to rekindle that relationship. It could be the thing that makes the difference to somebody. They might have just lost their job. They might have just lost a client. They might be having a bad day. And you just bring some joy and share a bit of love with them. That's it. It's not like, "Hi, Sean, I thought I'd give you a call and see how you're doing." Yeah, that's great. Anyway, do you want to buy my thing? It's not that kind of call. It's really just to make someone's day and rekindle a friendship or a relationship.
Yeah. And then I suppose when they are thinking of what services you offer, you're more likely to pop into their head than someone else.
Yeah.
Because, remember Sean, he phoned me just to see how I was, and what a nice guy.
Or they bump
Most
into
people
someone a few.
anyway.
They do. We all say that. But it might be that we have a conversation. So you ring me, we have that kind of conversation, and then 2 days later, someone says, "Oh, I need to improve my social media." Well, you're top of mind because I've only spoke to you the other day, and I go, "Oh, you need to speak to Sean." That's what happens. Why do we post on social media? For awareness, for that top of mind awareness. Same reason you should ring people
Talk
up.
about social media, Jamie. What's your biggest challenge at the moment?
I don't want to jinx things, but I've probably got too much. Well, so the biggest challenge I've got is I've got so much stuff that I want to share, but I have to hold it back because at the moment, my LinkedIn is my preferred platform, and it's working very well for me. I've seen consistent growth and growth and growth, and I've nearly doubled my LinkedIn reach and engagement over the last 3 to 4 months. I post every single morning. It's not set in stone. I'm not like 8 a.m. every morning, but I post every single day on LinkedIn, Monday through to Sunday. That consistency is starting to work. And
that's where we all know about algorithms. We
like to think that we do, don't we?
Yes, I know. We think we know, and then they change them. And we think that we understand them, and then they change them. But one of the things is about consistent, and again, going back to another circle member, Elsa will talk to you about brand, B for brand, and brand is all about being consistent. Again, everything you do on social media needs to be consistent. So I would think that if you then stopped posting 7 days a week, it could have a dramatic...
So I saw it last year. So from May up until September, I was really active on LinkedIn promoting, and I don't have huge stats, but I got my weekly impressions, if you like. It's just a metric. I got it up to about 14,000 a week. And then I had 2 weeks off. I was 50 last year. I know I don't look at Sean, but I was 50 last year. So we went away on holiday. And thank you. Does this only go out on audio? So I went away and I stopped the daily posting and engagement, and I saw my reach drop, and I never recovered from that point. By earlier this year, I think I was down at about 2,000 or 3,000 reach a week, and then I got it up to 5,000 probably by March, and it's stuck at that. And this week it's just gone over 9,000, and the engagement's massively increased. I've changed my approach just to share lots of value and make it conversational, and just feels like it's working. And the interesting thing is, we would love, I don't do it for the likes. I want to share content that's useful for people. But some people, when I speak to them, "Oh yeah, loving your social media content at the moment." And I'm like, "You've not commented on any of it." And that's what I want. I just want people to have conversations.
I think that's the problem, Jamie. I think a lot of people I come across get het up on likes, comments, shares, and yes, that all helps with our reach and our organic reach. But we're busy people, and it might be that we've scrolled and seen your post, but we've not liked it, we've not commented it.
I do it. I do it with lots of people.
But I don't know why people get up. Oh, well, that post only got 3 likes and you've got no comments. And I go, well, people don't. Unfortunately, we're not in that world where people stop, comment, put their comments. We're on to the next. And that's, I suppose, why we have to be consistent in what we're doing. By you posting 7 days a week, it's consistently pulling into people's feed. And I would say to people, it doesn't really matter what you do as long as you do it consistently.
It applies across the board, Sean. So at our conference last year, I think 80% of the speakers all talked about consistency across a variety of topics. I talk about it with networking. You've got to show up consistently. You can't just go networking when you're quiet, and then when you get busy, stop going, and then come back when you need some more clients, because people are going to be like, well, where have you been when I needed clients for the last few weeks? You've got to be consistent in your relationships, in your social media, how you pass referrals. Probably the biggest tip that I could share with people this year is, and you must have heard me say it, I made a decision at Christmas that I was going to pass more referrals than ever this year. So my goal is each week to pass 5 introductions a week, 5 referrals. Now I try and pass good quality introductions, not just like someone mentioned social media, you should speak to Sean. I try and qualify it and make really good introductions. My God, Sean, I've been overwhelmed with the referrals that I've received this year. Like, overwhelmed. Like, I've struggled to keep up with them all. And I've made some changes to my processes now to free me up to be able to deal with more of these. I think my LinkedIn is having a massive impact in helping me with that, because I'm just sharing a lot of tips and value that's useful for people. They don't think some of the stuff that I do, I try and make it like a mini workshop, so that they can go, all right, okay, that's useful, right? It's giving me the steps. So I'm not telling people what they need to do. I'm showing them how to do it sometimes as well. So I feel like, so when you ask what's my biggest thing on social media right now is that I just want it to keep going the way that it's going. That's my nervousness that they change the algorithm. Oh God, I've got to start again.
I honestly, honestly believe that if you consistently do it, that's one of the biggest parts of the algorithm is consistent.
Yeah.
And like you sort of talk about turning up to networking, I think the joys with Circle is that you can turn up to a networking event every single day of the week. Well, Monday to Friday. There isn't any at the weekend yet, is there?
Not yet.
Not yet. But yeah, you can turn up to any, and you get the same welcome that you get if you turn to anyone that you turn up to. Some are just a bit more crazy than the others.
Yeah, the Monday ones are probably more subdued than the Friday ones, which are a bit crazy.
Yeah, I think there's more gin and wine involved in Friday's kind of stuff.
But I tell you what, one of the interesting things is, whether it's from networking online or using social media, we use it to build relationships with people. All of it leads to having conversations. When what I noticed, and I'm kind of a bit more relaxed about it now, but when people first get involved in Circle Networks, it's online networking, when you probably start using something like LinkedIn to start to build relationships, and then you meet people in real life. And I saw yesterday Elsa posted, so Elsa Stinson lives near you, and you were at an in-person event. It's a great social media content opportunity. So Elsa got a selfie of the two of you. One of the things that I remember early on is people saying to me, "Oh, Jamie, you're a lot taller than I expected," because I'm 6'2". So, but on Zoom, we have no idea how tall people are or how short they are, and that's generally the first thing that someone says when they meet me. "Oh, you're taller than I expected."
No, it's brilliant, and I've really enjoyed speaking to you, Jamie. Like I say, I'm super excited that you were my first guest. So, if people are wanting to get to know more about Circle Networks, where should they go?
So it's dead easy. Go to circlenetworks.co.uk. There is a page, there's a button on the front that says take up our free trial. That's our sales pitch. I always say to people, if I had a restaurant, I'd invite people in to come and taste the food. I'm not in that world. I'm in networking. So we give people a free trial. They can come along and gorge out on as many networking events as they like for 2 weeks. It's all online. They all follow the same format about building relationships with people. Just come along and try it. Regardless of what country you're in, if you can only make one, just try it. I mean, imagine if you come, meet somebody like Sean, he could become a great friend, a great supplier, a great referral partner. You just never know unless you try it. And I think one of the things I would say is, this was me when I never wanted to go networking. I didn't think that I needed it. But I have built some amazing friendships. I have launched a completely new business as a result of networking. You mentioned Elsa. She's helped me. I met her because Mel Foley invited her along. Because of a social media post in a Facebook group. So Mel posted in a Facebook group. Elsa saw it. She came along. They live near each other. I got involved in Elsa's membership. She helped me rebrand with a brand strategy, and then somebody else in Circle Networks did the redesign for me, Frank Stebbin. And I would never have done any of this if it wasn't for networking. So you just never know where it could lead to. Circlenetworks.co.uk, or find me on LinkedIn, Jamie Stewart. If you search Jamie Stewart Circle Networks, I'll show up. Now, I've got a question for you, Sean.
Yeah.
What's your biggest tip for people for using social media?
I would say for me, I'm trying to keep things not consistent with posting, but consistent with the look, the feel, and embrace video, whatever you do. I was one of these what they call faceless marketers before, that it was just a name and you never saw my face. And now I get on the camera and I do little clips. People, again, it's everything that you've said, really, Jamie. People buy from people, so they want to see who they're buying from. But we have to embrace things. TikTok is a massive platform and is continually to grow, and that's where I think we'll see the next explosion. But I think it's already exploded. I think it's just going to get bigger.
Yeah, and so it's interesting that you say that. So one of the challenges that I have with a podcast and my normal content is, where do I post it all? Because there's only so many posts we can do. And I think TikTok's going to become the platform that I use for sharing the short clips and things like that, and for my podcast. But it's not there yet. It's not there yet.
But no, Jamie, once again, thank you very much for coming along. And yeah, for those who have any doubt, go to circlenetworks.co.uk, sign up to your 2-week trial, see if you can beat me and sign up before the meeting ends.
Yes, that's so let me just add to that. So there is no tie-in, there's no big upfront cost. We have a flat fee of £60 a month on a recurring basis. You can come along and try it. If you're in it for a month and you win some clients and you don't need to come back, you can just cancel. Obviously, I think it's great that you would want to carry on coming. But for that, you get access to all our events. So we've got currently 70 networking events a month that you can dip in and out of, and you choose. So there's a lot of value for not a lot of money, really.
And the joys is, like you say, it's worldwide as well. We've got the one in Dubai.
We've just had somebody join from Singapore that's thinking about Singapore. I've had conversations this week alone. Somebody's interested in launching it in the Philippines, in South Africa, and in Canada. Oh, and then, I had a conversation with somebody about the US this week as well. So there is just huge interest in this. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, very exciting. And I'm glad to be on the train.
Me too.
On that journey.
On the bus.
Yes, on the bus. It's all aboard. So thanks very much for joining us, Jamie. And everyone head over to Circle Networks, and we both can't wait to see you in one of the Circle Networks things. So that's all from this week, and look forward to speaking to my next guest. I think it is Dave McCall. Can organise all your holiday trips galore.
He's got some amazing deals for people. He is the guy that you need to know.
F1. Yeah, if you like F1, you need to speak to Dave. I did ask him if he was going to take me on one of these trips, but he said no.
Not yet.
That's coming up. So join us next time. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.